Imagine waking up to headlines saying that Iran has launched missiles toward U.S. forces in the Middle East. The real question is not just whether another regional clash has begun, but whether this could evolve into something far more dangerous. According to American geopolitical analysts like Peter Zeihan and forecaster George Friedman, the global balance of power is shifting, and tensions between Washington and Tehran are entering a more volatile phase. Iran is not just another country in the Middle East. It sits at the heart of one of the most strategically sensitive regions in the world. George Friedman has argued that Iran possesses significant military depth and credible missile capabilities that allow it to threaten American interests across the region. This is not merely theoretical. Over the past decade, Iran's influence has expanded, particularly through the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which plays a central role in projecting power beyond Iran's borders. That means any direct confrontation would not remain confined to one battlefield. On the other side, the United States maintains unmatched global military reach. The United States Navy operates aircraft carriers, strike groups, and advanced defense systems capable of deploying overwhelming force into the Persian Gulf within days. Peter Zeihan has emphasized that America's logistical and naval superiority allows it to respond rapidly to emerging threats. However, projecting power is one thing. Sustaining a conflict in a complex region is another. Iran does not need to defeat the United States outright. It only needs to raise the economic and strategic cost of confrontation to a level that becomes politically difficult for Washington to maintain. Strategic forecasts suggest that while Washington prefers diplomacy, escalation could occur if core American interests are perceived to be under threat. Analysts often note that if negotiations collapse, the United States Department of Defense could consider limited military action aimed at deterring further escalation. George Friedman has repeatedly indicated that the United States historically seeks negotiation first, but it will act militarily if strategic red lines are crossed. This includes threats to regional allies, attacks on U.S. forces, or severe disruptions to global energy routes. One of the most sensitive choke points in this entire equation is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime corridor through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes every day. Any disruption there could cause immediate global economic shockwaves. Energy prices would surge, financial markets could destabilize, and international pressure for de-escalation would intensify. Yet history shows that limited strikes, retaliatory actions, or miscalculations can quickly spiral beyond their original intent. Experts are not saying that a full-scale war is inevitable. What they are suggesting is that the probability of limited confrontation is increasing as tensions rise and strategic mistrust deepens. In volatile regions, even small incidents can trigger larger chains of events. Military buildups, naval movements, and missile deployments may begin as signals, but they can rapidly turn into direct engagements if either side believes deterrence has failed. So the real issue is not whether war has officially been declared. It is whether the structural conditions for conflict are quietly aligning. Analysts like Peter Zeihan and George Friedman focus less on dramatic headlines and more on long-term strategic trends, military positioning, economic pressure, alliance networks, and political decision-making cycles. When those elements begin to converge, the risk of confrontation grows, even if leaders publicly call for calm. The coming months will likely depend on diplomacy, deterrence, and restraint. A limited strike could remain limited, or it could expand if regional actors become involved. In a region where rivalries run deep and alliances are layered, escalation can move faster than expected. The next major development may not arrive with a formal declaration. It may arrive as a breaking headline that changes global markets overnight. If you want deeper geopolitical analysis grounded in expert perspectives and long-term strategy rather than emotional reactions, stay focused on the patterns behind the headlines. Because major conflicts rarely begin with loud announcements. They begin quietly, with signals that only become obvious in hindsight.